Each and every one of us has an unlimited inner wellspring of spiritual power. You have the ability to transform, create, and heal anything upon which you set your heart and mind. Join me, Sarah Hall, as we learn how to uplift all aspects of your life through spiritual empowerment. Enjoy weekly guided meditations, spiritual discussions on a multitude of topics, and a chance to call in to receive channeled messages from the angels on your spiritual journey. I'm Sarah Hall, and this is Through the Eyes of the Angels. Hi guys, thank you so much for tuning into the show today. Today we are going to be getting a little bit esoteric and exploring the Akashic Records. The concept of the Akashic Records has always fascinated me because it's something that has been alluded to since ancient times across many spiritual cultures and religions. So the Akashic Records are a sort of book, or library might be a better word to describe it, that is thought to exist in the spirit world. It's a compendium of knowledge containing all the information on every soul and event in creation. And the word Akasha is a Sanskrit word that actually refers to space, sky, or ether in Indian cosmology. The Akashic Records are thought to be information encoded in the very ethers. In other words, they are a non-physical storehouse or access point for all the information, wisdom, or knowledge that you could ever wish to access in this universe. Historically, the Akashic Records were understood to have existed since the beginning of creation. They were accessed and referenced in cultures and religions all over the world since ancient times. As we said, this concept of the spiritual compendium of knowledge existed in India, as we said, where some of the Hindu Vedas were said to have originated from the Akashic Records. And even the Sanskrit language itself is thought by some to have been taken from the Akashic Records. This concept also existed in ancient Egypt, where holy people were said to access the Akashic Records to advise pharaohs. And this idea is referenced really again and again in ancient Chinese mysticism, Sufi mysticism, the Kabbalah, the ancient Celtic Druid religion, and among Tibetans, the Moors, the Greeks, Persians, Chaldeans, the Mayans, and Christians. And in the Bible, the concept of the Akashic Records is referred to as the Book of Life, where records of all souls are supposedly kept in heaven in the spirit world. In somewhat more modern times, the Theosophical and Anthroposophical societies of Europe during the 1800s directly explored the Akashic Records, with the famous philosophers and mystics Helena Petrovna Blavatsky and Rudolf Steiner directly teaching about the Akashic Records. Steiner proclaimed that anyone could acquire the ability to access the Akasha Chronicle through broadening one's cognitive awareness to perceive into the spirit world. Some of the most extensive contemporary insight to be found on the Akashic Records originates from information gleaned from the psychic channeling of the Christian mystic Edgar Cayce. Cayce suggested that each of us writes the story of our own lives through our thoughts, feelings, and actions, and that the Akashic Records provide valuable insight into the understanding of our own nature and our relationship with the universe. Cayce's teachings on the Akashic Records have actually really largely influenced modern-day New Age spiritual understandings of the Akasha. Now, many scholars might say that the evidence and references to the Akashic Records across culture and histories have been maybe too generously and therefore maybe inaccurately attributed to this concept. However, I put it to you, that anytime a concept like this exists across both continents and millennia of history, there's got to be something to it. It's incredible that our ancestors all over the world have had some shared universal idea of there being an accessible compendium of knowledge that exists in spirit. I think it's absolutely amazing anyway. When I tuned in to ask the angels for their insight, they communicated that yes, the Akashic records are very real. I actually heard the angels sort of giggle, saying, well, of course, the Akashic records are a perfectly natural result of living in a collective of universal consciousness. All that exists within one great universal mind, the mind of the all, God, or the universe, whichever you'd like to call it. We are one with the universal mind and function just as it functions, like replicas structured after the greater whole. The mind of the all, of course, holds on to all of the information and the reality that it has created, just like your mind does. And even if you do not consciously remember every moment you were a part of, this knowledge is encoded and accessible within your subconscious mind. If you worked at it, you could access memories you didn't know you were storing. Hypnotism, for example, helps people access seemingly lost childhood memories all the time, proving that the subconscious mind is incredibly powerful. And from my understanding, quite unlimited in its ability to store and access energy and information. The angels explained to me that similarly, the Akashic records are essentially like God's subconscious mind and hold every bit of memory and knowledge there is on every experience, creation, and soul in the universe. Just as you can access your own subconscious mind to gain knowledge, so too can you access the Akashic records, navigating this library of esoteric wisdom to help you to grow, evolve, create, heal, or learn to your heart's content. The angels also communicated that in ancient times, people used to think that you had to have special abilities, approval, or some kind of ordained holiness in order to be able to have this access to the Akashic records. Something that the angels wanted me to share with all of you now in this renaissance of a time that we live in for spiritual knowledge is that anyone can access the Akashic records. You don't have to be some ordained mystic or high priestess to be allowed to receive divine knowledge. The angels sort of laughed joyfully again as they communicated to me, well, of course everyone's able to access this knowledge. All of God's children are equally loved. You could never be denied access to something that you are intrinsically a part of to begin with. Which brings me to something exciting. Today, we have a very special guest on Through the Eyes of the Angels. Our very own producer at Bring Me to Life Radio, Selomon Clausen, is here to share his insights and direct experiences with the Akashic Records. Selo is certified in meditation and energy medicine and has been teaching in these areas throughout the many years that I have known him. And I'm so excited to have him. Thank you so much, Selo, for being here today.
Hello. Hey, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you great.
Awesome.
Thank you so much for being on today.
Yeah, definitely. Thank you for allowing me to be on. We love your show. It's amazing.
Yay. So, Selo, since you have had experiences with the Akashic Records, I thought perhaps that you could share with us maybe what was your first experience with the Akashic Records and how did you come to know them, or why were you drawn to the Akasha?
Mm-hmm. The Akashic Records are a very interesting topic. I began to learn about them through while I was studying astral projection and meditation around 2011. I had this really big spiritual awakening, and I started getting into these kinds of topics. And, you know, I was reading about the benefits of the Akashic Records, how you can access all this information, all these experiences and past lifetimes. And so I thought it would be a really, powerful tool to include in your spiritual tool belt. And so I wanted to access them, but at first I couldn't because, is I think when you get into something like that, it's like you begin to doubt it. Like, am I really experiencing this? Am I just imagining it in my mind? And is it all hooey? But so, like, when I was first getting into it, that was kind of going through my mind. And I also wasn't able to meditate for very long. I started out like doing 2 minutes because I couldn't really meditate. But after I was able to, start a daily meditation practice, I got it up to about 20 minutes to 30 minutes. I I eventually had this really big Kundalini awakening, and I was staring at myself in the mirror, and I began to see all my past lives coming to me in visions in the mirror. And I feel like that was my energy beginning to access the Akashic records, and it was like that information of my past lives was connected to that and downloading into my reality, so that I could use that information to understand more of my purpose in this lifetime. And I don't know, it was just a really amazing thing, and I began to learn how to astral project, and that's when I was able to actually access the Akashic records more fully. And one time in particular, I projected into the astral realm, which it's basically where energy and matter are. They're not energy hasn't quite turned into matter, but it's basically there. So I projected into the astral realm, and I flew out into the atmosphere, and I see the Akashic records like a cloud of energy surrounding the earth. And I honestly don't remember much of what happened after that particular time. I do remember kind of waking up all of a sudden and saying, "Remember, remember, remember." And then just kind
Wow.
of right away, like, it flew out of my memory. So I don't really remember much of that.
Amazing, amazing. Yeah, it's interesting when you described that moment in the mirror when you started to kind of see all of these past lives moving through you. I have had a lot of experiences like that where clients have shared having experiences like that, or even in my own journey where I've experienced that, but while looking at someone else's face, where all of a sudden, if you look at someone and just kind of gaze into their eyes for a little while, there's this phenomena that occurs. And again, many people have had it where the faces start to change and you see all the different forms that soul has taken, the different incarnations that soul has lived in. And it's amazing because you're exactly right that you're seeing into the Akashic record of that soul in the moment, or into yourself as you gaze into the mirror and do something like this. So that's very, very beautiful. And, I just want to share too that for anyone listening, I think like Sila, we can all begin by setting the intention if we want to access this kind of energy and information. And once you set the intention, I really believe that spirit kind of leads you exactly to the knowledge, the lessons, the experiences that you need to get to that goal, to get to that kind of learning that you want. And I was wondering, Silo, for you, do you think that, if people were to connect with the Akashic records, are there healing benefits that we can get from it? I mean, other than how amazing it is just to be in the knowledge of it, interesting to learn about these kinds of things, are there benefits that help us to kind of grow spiritually and that sort of thing?
Absolutely. It is a really cool experience. And you kind of like your hair stands on end when you begin to tap into something like that. But, beyond it being really cool and neat and fun, there's a lot of healing that can come from it. For example, if you have some past life trauma or something embedded from an early experience, you can tap into the Akashic records and you can go back to that experience and see it from like a third person perspective and understand a little bit more of, why that trauma is still within me and what I can do to heal from that. If you want to see things from another person's perspective, or kind of how people say take a walk in their shoes. You can literally do that in the Akashic Records and literally see from their perspective. You can learn lessons from other people's lifetimes in a more safe and contained environment. Like, you don't have to live a full lifetime to gain the same lessons as, somebody. You could just go to the Akashic Records and meditate and experience somebody's lifetime and gain those lessons. But you don't have to feel all the pain and the damage and the hurt. I feel like it's a more safe environment, and you also, I don't know, it's like I feel like your guides help you through the Akashic Records so that you don't bring anything negative back with you.
Yes, wow. I love that because what you describe is really that the Akashic Records are one of our most powerful access points for compassion, if you think about it. Being able to walk in another person's shoes and to feel their experiences, I mean, that helps us immensely. I could imagine that for those that maybe are suffering from trauma or abuse, that in a way, being able to see through other people's eyes helps us to develop forgiveness, helps us to re-empower ourselves. Also, for sure, past life healing. I've experienced so much in conducting past life healing for my clients over the years, to where accessing the Akashic Records is the way that they find their empowerment. Learning about the energy that they're still carrying around today, learning about the personality that they still have today, and where that is rooted by looking at those older kinds of experiences. So truly, truly, it's amazing. One other little point came to mind as well, that in my work with the Akashic Records, I've noticed that we can access our contracts, like our soul contracts that we've made with other souls, whether it be a contract we've made with that soul in this lifetime or previous lifetimes as well. And learning about the contract that we've made for our life purpose, reading the greater overarching soul intentions that we have held over lifetimes, sometimes multiple lifetimes, and what our soul's purpose really is. So, I totally agree with you that I think that they are very meaningful and healing to connect with.
Yeah, sometimes if you keep incarnating on Earth, it's like amnesia. Like, we all experience this. We don't know how we got here or why we're here, and it can be really important to go back into your lifetimes. I remember specifically, like, I did a past life regression with you, and you led me into like an astral projection into the Akashic Records, and
Yes.
there was one past life in particular, and one that I hadn't really experienced or remembered until that point. And you said I was doing a lot of teaching, and I was in this kind of like medieval sort of time, and the Catholic Church or whatever was in power didn't like it, and they were gonna they were gonna kill me basically. But I was like, I don't care, I'm gonna keep teaching. And so they ended up hanging me, and like, my throat chakra most of my life was kind of closed. I was very quiet all the time and didn't really speak up a lot. But when I was able to, go back into that past life and connect with that experience again, it allowed me to begin to kind of let that pain go and begin to open up more of my communication and my expression.
Yes. And it's so amazing because here you are in this lifetime and you're a teacher again, which is amazing because that's us seeing, okay, Spirit brought forth the exact past life that Silo needed to see as he's unlocking all of his incredible gifts, which he employs today, teaching the world about spirituality and teaching people how to meditate. So, I highly suggest it for people that want to discover a little bit more about themselves. This is a wonderful place to start. It's a wonderful intention to set to connect with the Akashic Records.
Definitely.
So I kind of wanted to ask you, Silo, a little bit more about astral projection. For those that maybe don't know what it is, could you describe what astral projection is and, other ways that that we can kind of begin to access the Akashic Records?
So the astral projection is a technique in which you consciously connect with your astral body. It is sort of like your energy body in a way, where it's a lot lighter. It's kind of see through and transparent. When you astral project, it's easy for people to just kind of envision what they're wearing at that time, and it's like you're just connecting with yourself, but in a higher frequency. It's like your vibration is so high, your atoms are vibrating so rapidly that you kind of turn transparent, and you can you enter the astral dimension, which is also known as the fifth dimension, or the dimension where energy exists before it turns into matter. And people say that the astral realm is like a hologram that overlays on top of Earth. But if your frequency isn't raised and your vibration isn't high enough, you can't see it. But through astral projection, you tune into that realm and that frequency and that vibration through different techniques, and you can fly around, you can go to the Akashic Records, you can do all sorts of things. It's almost like a lucid dream, except for in a lucid dream you're kind of connected more to your subconscious mind, but in the astral you're connected more to the universe.
Wow.
So with astral projection, for me, it's an easier way to connect with the Akashic Records because it feels more real. It feels like you're more of your awareness and more of your focus is in that experience instead of meditating, and that's powerful too. But I just think the astral projection is my personal way. I think everybody probably has different ways. Meditating is another good way to go to the Akashic Records. Praying, and I know there's specific angels that can help you get to the Akashic Records.
Yes. Oh my gosh, absolutely. And I love oh my gosh, I'd have to say I love your description of astral projection. I think it's so helpful. Your point about kind of visualizing yourself just as you are now with what you're wearing now, and then just let yourself become transparent and move into that higher state to be able to visualize it first. And then trust me, you guys, once you begin to kind of hold space to visualize yourself this way, to begin to move out of the body, sort of like a trance-like, dream-like kind of state after you meditate through it for a little while, it does start to take over. It may feel for a moment like it's your imagination starting off, but after a while, I mean, and I've experienced this with so many people, your experiences in that fifth dimension that Silo's describing become so strong that it is like a full body, very realized, immersive experience where you're really there. And it's very different than just a daydream because everything comes at you much faster, more complex, and more powerfully than it ever would if you were just using your imagination alone. And I always tell people to never call it just your imagination, because your imagination is the pivotal point. It's the springboard into the spirit world. It's a very powerful access point to very incredibly real things that are out there. And again, this knowledge, this universal knowledge that you can access, you access it by walking through the doorway that is what you can visualize, what you can perceive within. So yeah, I love that. And I love the idea that the astral projection is one of your favorite ways, Silo, because I agree, it's so immersive to be able to really feel and see it, to where there's this point where it's like, I'm sure of it. When truth hits you, sometimes it becomes kind of just undeniable. Truth resonates at such a strong frequency when it hits you within, and it's like, I know what I'm feeling. I know what all of this is. And now I'm coming across information that is just so, beyond anything else that I would have come up with on my own kind of thing. I know it's here. It's beautiful. So you mentioned the angels that we call on to connect with the Akashic Records, and I'd like to introduce Archangel Raziel to all of us, because Archangel Raziel is the angel who is considered the keeper of the Akashic Records. He's like our spiritual librarian or scholar who can help guide you through connecting to the Akashic Records. And since the Akashic Records, as we said, hold information about our past lives and soul contracts, Raziel is often going to be very present in any kind of past life healing that you do and helping us to understand soul contracts better. So, Silo, I know that you also work with the angels, and I was wondering, do you call on Raziel? And if so, what have your experiences kind of been like with that?
So my experiences with Raziel have been more. I haven't, to be honest, I haven't put out the call like Raziel, come to me. It's just been like, hey, I'm an energy, and it's interesting because I know I've had some experiences with Raziel, like for example, in your astral projection regression session that you did with me, you had Raziel there. But in some other instances, he's more kind of mysterious. Like, for example, when I was in California one time, near the end of 2012, it was near, December 21st, and I was sleeping in a hotel in Fort Bragg, California. I had an astral projection that night, and I met up with a hooded figure, so I didn't really know who it was at first. And I just thought it was like some hooded angel, like some mysterious angel.
Mm.
And then this angel began to show me the land of Lemuria. For anybody who doesn't know, Lemuria's, it was around the time that Atlantis was there, or like shortly before Atlantis came. And this angel showed me this land rising above, close to where I was staying. There's a big cliff with the ocean below us, and the ocean just started rumbling and shaking, and all of a sudden this land started rising out of it. And I noticed Hawaii began to turn into like giant mountains in this land of Lemuria. But when I was first there, I didn't know it was Raziel. But now that we're like talking about it and thinking about it and understanding that Raziel is like he's a keeper of God's mysteries, so it would make sense that he's like a more mysterious angel to me.
Yes, he totally is, and he is. He's a keeper of mysteries, and a lot of people kind of experience him in mysterious ways because, he loves to connect us to very, very high frequencies and very complex kind of esoteric information. So that information or that energy might come at us in ways that might not always seem the most conventional, but yeah, he's a wonderful guide and so loving, and in my experience, always keeps experiences like astral projection or accessing Akashic records or past life work very safe and guided feeling. And I wanted to ask you, Silo, because I loved that you said, accessing the Akashic records earlier. You mentioned it's a really safe way to get at some healing work. I was wondering, do you think that there are any dangers in accessing the Akashic records, or how do we kind of stay centered and feeling really secure and safe while we kind of go out into the spiritual unknown?
Yeah, so I'm glad you brought this up because this is a really important thing because through astral projection, like the fact that you're vibrating at such a high rate, you're gonna see things and run into things that you don't normally experience. When I talked about it being a safe container, the Akashic Records are a safe container because there's guardians there and there's Raziel that's there with you. In the astral world, more than the Akashic Records, it's a little bit more versed. There might be some energies that aren't necessarily there for your best good. And what I would say is that people need to understand that nothing will ever hurt them without their permission.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes, though, people can begin to focus on fear. And I've had a lot of people listen to some of my astral projection meditations, and I've gotten a lot of comments on people saying they get close to breaking that conscious barrier where they go out of their body into the astral, and they're so close to being there, but then they get scared because they start experiencing like a certain noise or a certain sensation,
Mm-hmm.
and that's okay. That's totally okay, but everybody needs to understand when you astral projection that you are 100% completely safe. When you meditate, you need to envision like a protective bubble around you, call on angels to come and protect you, and just really connect with that feeling of being safe and protected. If somebody is in a not so good place, if they don't feel like they can be properly protected, because your thoughts, your feelings, they manifest so rapidly in the astral, that if somebody isn't feeling like they're at their best, I think it's important to find somebody like yourself or me to help guide them through, because we can hold space for them, and we can hold protective space for them if they're not feeling completely like they're able to protect themselves. But with that being said, everybody is completely safe unless they give their permission to something. Like, we're all safe, and I think that's really important to understand when you're astral projecting, is that nothing will ever hurt you without your permission.
Yes, I totally agree. It's very true. I think our free will plays such a powerful role in the experiences that we create or manifest around ourselves. And if you hold the free will choice very strong, that, I am safe, I am in the light, I'm a child of God, and so I am eternally safe, and that is truth. And that, also certainly calling on the angels. This is why, in fact, I work with the angels in pretty much all spiritual work that I do, is because they immediately give us that feeling. They immediately deliver a real container of safety and wellness, protection, and they're excellent at guiding in each of these esoteric kind of experiences with balance, so that, God never gives us an experience that we're not, ready for, that we can't handle, kind of thing. And I completely agree with you, CeeLo, too, that if anyone's ever finding a moment where they start to feel a little unsure or their fear starts to get triggered, just go right ahead and immediately call on your angels, or go ahead and center and ground yourself again. And, just to spend a little more time reminding yourself, I am safe. I choose to be surrounded in light. I am well. And I choose to associate only with frequencies that match that vibration of feeling light, safe, protected, healed, guided, that kind of thing. Because yes, it's true. We live in a very infinite universe, where there is a whole spectrum of things that can exist, that can be created. And, not everything is relevant to you and your spiritual growth that you're going to go out and sense or notice when you're beginning to astral project and that kind of thing. But that doesn't mean it's unsafe. And especially, again, I think it's foolproof. If you're calling on the angels and you're asking the angels to guide you through these things, you've got a foolproof way to move into that realm that really is your birthright to experience. God intended for us to be able to use the spiritual gifts that we all naturally have. Then the angels can guide you to do so in a way that feels really secure. So thank you, CeeLo, for that wisdom. I'm so honored to have you on today and just share your stories and your experience. It's so cool to hear this stuff.
Well, thank you. I think your show is amazing. It's a beautiful opportunity, and I'm very grateful for it. And I hope everybody gets some good information from it.
Yay, thank you. So right along with our theme, I thought today we could all do a little guided meditation to connect with Archangel Raziel. And CeeLo and I will be here holding space, meditating right with you as I just kind of channel in these words from Raziel to guide us here. So if you are in a good place to do so, you can go ahead and relax comfortably, gently closing your eyes and beginning to deepen and lengthen your breaths. And as you relax, you may notice that there is a soft, white and rainbow-colored shine that begins to glow and move around you. Breathe this rainbow-colored light in, allowing it to soften the heartbeat, noticing the body moving into a restful and receptive mode. It feels so good to breathe in this rainbow light. as it lifts your frequency towards greater happiness and higher awareness with every breath you take. Archangel Raziel stands before you now. His aura is a beautiful rainbow color. Raziel gently gazes into your eyes, channeling that rainbow light from his hands into your energy body, so as to create a cocoon of light around you. Rainbow light is now flowing in to every pore of your energy body, every beam of light, every chakra. You notice your head beginning to relax and expand as your brain waves respond to this high vibration, as your spirit begins to expand into the universe and heart of the Creator. Archangel Raziel places his hand over your third eye chakra in the center of your forehead. Breathe in deeply, feeling the energy as it flows into the third eye, unlocking your spiritual potential, opening your access point to all the knowledge within God. With every breath you take, your third eye expands open just a little more and more. And you can feel the light and vibration moving in through your forehead, flowing and glistening through your mind. As you attune to this spiritually open state, Raziel invites you to spend a moment simply noticing and listening for any messages, any signs, or symbols or feelings that are being sent your way. Accept this beautiful gift, this moment of deep connection with Raziel, really drawing that wisdom deep in. Raziel invites you to repeat the following affirmation in your mind with your inner spiritual voice. Inhale deeply and exhale as you think. I am profoundly and naturally psychic. I am profoundly and naturally psychic. Breathe deeply and feel the energy of this truth lifting and opening your third eye even further. And with your next deep inhale, gather your inner spiritual voice. Exhaling as you think the following thought. It is safe for me to see, feel, hear, and know God. It is safe for me to feel, see, hear, and know God. And breathing deeply as this truth deeply settles in, opening your frequency to connect with the Akashic Records and the wisdom of Raziel. Take just one moment here to set a prayer or intention to learn something from Raziel. Ask him anything your heart would desire to know. Know that Archangel Raziel will continue to work with you on your path to guide your knowledge, helping you to learn at your own pace and according to your own choosing. I'm going to take a moment to thank Raziel for connecting with us today. And with our next deep breath, drawing light and energy right back down the spine. Feeling the light moving down into the heart. Breathing the light down the belly. And feeling it move all the way down into the root chakra and down to the feet. Just to help us ground, we're going to take one last deep breath, gathering light into the root chakra with an inhale. Exhaling to feel that light move right out the root chakra, right down into your energetic root system, into the earth. And breathing again, we open our eyes and shift right back into the room, back into the moment. Thank you. Thank you for joining us in that meditation, you guys. It's beautiful to get a little taste of that higher energy, and I hope some of you will be inspired to call on Raziel more as you continue to grow on your path. So now is my favorite part of the show. We will be taking your calls, texts, and reading requests. So you can call or text us at 1-240-979-6366. That's 1-240-979-6366. Or you can also submit your reading request into the chat room at bringmetolife.com. Today, I'm working with the Keepers of the Light Oracle cards by Kyle Gray, which are great to work with if you're looking for more esoteric, mystical views on things. And I also have the Messages from the Guides Transformation cards by James Van Praagh, which give very grounded, right to the point guidance. So let's go ahead and just start taking in some callers and requests. Okay, so we already have 2 requests in. The first one is from Robert from Tulsa, Oklahoma. He says, "Hi, Sarah. I would love to know what the angels would have for me today. He's curious too if it's time to meet his guardian angels." Okay, Robert, thank you so much for your question. So let's go ahead and just first tune into the angels who are around you right now. Okay, we've got a nice little circle. I'm going to introduce the archangels that are with you today, and also we're going to go in and talk to your guardian angels for a moment. So I do hear the word Jophiel. Archangel Jophiel is popping in loud and clear. Archangel Jophiel is the angel of beauty. And Robert, she's showing us that she has a special connection with you because you have a talent to beautify the world around you. And she's working directly with you, Jophiel, to help to beautify your thoughts. So you can call on Jophiel to do that. I do feel Archangel Michael and Archangel Raphael, both really, really close with you. Some really nice trifecta. And I see Gabriel popping in. So 4 guardian angels that are quite strong with you. Gabriel is also pointing to your throat chakra, communication, and saying, again, you can uplift the world around you by communicating, or as Jophiel would say, by beautifying, sharing something creative. That would be really lovely. Let's go ahead and see which guardian angels are there. So I'm just dialing in a little bit closer to you into the circle that's just immediately right around your energy field. The first feeling that I'm getting is from a guardian angel whose name appears to be Joseph. And this angel is really, really light and really kind of fun-loving, energizes you, always inspiring you to go out into the world and to enjoy yourself. His message to you is joy, joy, joy. Joy uplifts you. Joy is powerful. Joy is part of your purpose, and sharing joy with other people is part of your purpose. So he's here smiling, kind of a good sense of humor that I'm getting from your Joseph's personality. Let's see who else is here from your guardian angels. Okay, so I have a beautiful energy coming in. Oh, it's just giving me the tingles. So I'm feeling a guardian angel by the name of Muriel. And she has an energy that is soft, like a periwinkle bluish purple color. And she has incredible nurturing abilities. And I'm hearing her singing, almost like a lullaby. She's showing us that she has often engaged with your imaginative, creative side ever since you were a little child. And we're seeing her feeding you a lot of creative ideas. A lot of little stories, little thoughts, and little beautiful images and things like this. She's just so sweet and soft and kind, very mothering energy, and very playful as well. You've got very playful guides. That's amazing. I do see 2 other guardian angels who are coming in. So let's go ahead and connect with them. Okay, so you've got one coming in by the name of Sylviel. Sylviel, you can call her Sylvie for short if you want. And as I'm tuning into her energy, I'm getting a lot of things. First, I'm getting cosmic influences. So I'm getting a feeling almost as if this angel is connected to the moon and to the stars and that kind of thing. She's showing us that you're very spiritually sensitive. You've got high spiritual sensitivity, especially to big fluctuations in cosmic energy. She's showing us also a little star seed energy on you. You connect to this. Connected to all of that, and that's really beautiful. Final guardian angel who's coming in now is Radiel. Radiel. You can say Rod or Ra for short even, I'm hearing him say. And I'm feeling a big kind of rainbow color around him, similar to Raziel. But he's saying he works with Raziel, kind of like similar, but he's your guardian. And as we're connecting with him, he's just giving us a little message that's saying he is here to help to keep your confidence really strong. Always working to keep your confidence really, really strong and beautiful. Good. So let's just go ahead and, Robert, for you, I'm just going to pull a couple of cards to see if these guides and angels have any other little things that they want to show. These cards be light, and let's see which cards I was guided to pull to you. You have this murder card with people murder. This card that's showing us that actually they want you to not necessarily dive in and make really strong, quicker, impulsive decisions on everything going on right now. They're telling you to take some time to really feel a situation out, really listen to your instincts and your intuition, and you will feel when it's right to make a big action, a big move, a big change kind of thing. There's an important lesson unfolding right now, so trust that everything that you're praying to come about in your life right now, Robert, is coming about in perfect divine timing. So plenty of patience in that. And then your second card is from Gaia, the Earth Connection card. The Earth Connection. So actually, directly what I'm hearing from this for you, Robert, is that it will be very important for you to remain grounded at this time. They're showing us that you have a very high sensitivity at this time to some of the more intense frequencies that are moving through the Earth. As a result of eclipse season being here, there's a lot of big cosmic changes going on, and your guardian angels just got done telling us that you're sensitive to those things. So Gaia, this Gaia card represents get connected to the earth, because Mother Earth can see you through all of that beautifully. She can heal you, guide you, uplift your energy as you are connecting with your spirituality. So especially spend time barefoot outdoors and around any bodies of water. I'm feeling water having a beautiful connection to your energy, helping to cleanse you beautifully. And again, I'm getting a real feeling from Mother Earth. She's saying patience as well. Patience is good. Okay, thank you so much, Robert, for your request. I am going to our next reading request. Let's see, we've got one coming in from Ashton. Ashton is curious about his upcoming move to a new location and is wondering what he should be looking out for. So wonderful. Thank you so much, Ashton, for your message. And let's go ahead. I'm going to pull a mix of cards for you. I'm going to pull a couple of cards from the Keepers of the Light, and I'm also feeling guided to pull some cards from our Messages from the Guides deck. And just as I'm tuning in with your angels, it's interesting because your angels are actually pointing over, Ashton, to what appears to be a loved one in heaven of yours. This may be a grandfather. I'm feeling a male presence, kind of taller, somebody who's really, really good with hardworking planning and finances. This loved one feels as if they're a great financial planner and you're a little money angel on the other side kind of thing. The message that I'm getting here loud and clear is that you're being helped with regard to planning and finances and that kind of thing, and to just make some really patient choices in the things that you're faced with as you move, because everything will then be better supported with regard to your financial stability, just moving into a really supported feeling. I get a good feeling about you moving to a new location as well. I feel, especially for you, a lot of creative opportunities. Gosh, again, we've got a little theme going on today, you guys. Creative energy is making a big, big splashy show today. I like that. I think that there's probably a lot of people listening, therefore, that have a purpose, a divine purpose in doing something creative. So what they're adding for you, Ashton, is to, again, kind of go nice and slow and be really patient with yourself with regard to any goals that you have when you get to your new location, whether they are life purpose or career or connecting with people and networking and that kind of thing. I feel things kind of moving very gradually, but that's good. That feels very on divine timing, in order, because you'll be adjusting to the frequencies of the move and the change. The angels are showing us an image of a plant that's getting repotted, one plant to the next. The plant goes into shock. The roots go into shock for a little bit. You are very adaptable, according to your angels, but give yourself a little time nonetheless to spend resting and integrating once you move. So I pulled the cards, and the first set of cards you have are the Mary Magdalene card with the Teacher Awakens message, paired with the Release Toxic Relationship cards from the Messages from the Guides. So what this set of cards is telling us is, first of all, that you are moving, and one of the most wonderful things about the fact that you are moving is that you are moving on into a whole new chapter of life that is going to be characterized by very new, uplifting, positive relationships to be spending your time around. So in other words, you're naturally, by virtue of moving, going to be releasing old patterns from older relationships that maybe just for some reason we're limiting and kind of holding things back in the past. And what this releasing does for you is it awakens the divine teacher inside of you. It also, the angels are saying, awakens the leader within you. It's so easy once you kind of move on from old relationships in the past to feel your assertive leader coming in and making some powerful new strides. So your second set of cards is the Hope card, giving the message love and acceptance, connected with the Live Your Bliss cards from the Messages from the Guides deck. So beautiful. So our Hope card from our Keepers of the Light, this actually represents that this move holds really great promise for you. This is really going to be positive for you. I feel a lot of actual love and acceptance coming in from new friendships and relationships that you're going to be developing here. The angels are saying soul relationships waiting for you in your new location as well. So definitely know that you're about to realize some dreams in that area and that it brings great happiness. Very, very straightforward message with that Live Your Bliss card, because it says you've got the opportunity here to have great happiness, and not only great happiness just in enjoying your new location, but also the angels are saying again in completing something around your life purpose. We see that there's great joy that comes in from fulfilling your purpose, and that's what you get from being in this new place. So let's move right along. It looks like we've got another reading request coming in from Bridget. Hi, Bridget. So Bridget says, good morning. She would like to hear any messages that she needs to hear from her angels. So Bridget, I'm tuning into your energy right now, and your angels are showing us that you are just so sweet and so empathic. You have so much high spiritual sensitivity. I feel everyone around you in your life so grateful for your existence, and a lot of times really flocking to your energy like moths to a flame kind of thing, because you have this sensitive inner nurturer inside of you. But what your angels want you to know right now is that that is going to need a little extra TLC or balance. So in other words, the angels are inviting you to balance your energy by creating a little bit more high boundaries than maybe you're used to usually having in your relationships, and also even in the demands of your busy schedule or things going on in your life around you. In other words, they're giving you full permission and confirmation that yes, now is a great time to rest. Now is a great time to retreat, to allow yourself a moment to heal. I pulled a couple cards for you too, Bridget, and we got the Holy Spirit card representing expect miracles. And this shows that there's actually a big change on the way. I feel a breakthrough change where you are being given a really, really beautiful opportunity, again, to kind of release any old patterns where there was a feeling of being overburdened, too much responsibility on your shoulders, or feeling overpressured, too busy. There's a sense that we're able to break free from that. And I'm getting this really relaxing, softening kind of feeling, and just manifesting, a wonderful new support system where you can kind of delegate away some of the tasks that you have and balance your energy really, really beautifully. So that's beautiful. Your second card is Paul the Venetian with the Experiencing Grace message. Again, these two are from the Keepers of Light deck. This message is beautiful because it's representing you sharing your gifts. When we see experiencing grace, it's sort of like you are in the middle of receiving really, really wonderful waves of inspiration, of spiritual guidance, and that kind of thing. Beautiful, inspired love are coming your way at this time. And in order to hear it, or in order to feel it, again, you've got to quiet down and let your life take some retreat time. That will allow you to integrate this message the best way that you can, or this inspiration that you're receiving the best that you can, and then share it out with the world. I feel some beautiful creative energy around you. And again, beautiful empathic energy, just very sensitive and caring to those around you. You'll be a better source of that caring as soon as you make more space for yourself. Yeah, hold the boundaries up high, the angels are saying. Your final card from the Messages from the Guides is Worry is a Wasted Emotion. The worry is a wasted emotion card. Again, especially it pertains for you, Bridget, to your connection to other people. So if there are any relationships with others where you find yourself feeling, again, pressured, overstrained, feeling overly responsible for trying to fix their emotional states, don't worry about them. Let them go and know that everything is unfolding in divine truth and for the highest good of everybody involved. One last reading request we're just going to try to squeeze in here in our last moment is from Liu. She says, "Hi, Sarah, I'd like guidance for my current situation." Okay, so we're going to pull a couple of cards. And actually, I'm feeling, Liu, for you that you've got a lot of really, really strong protective angels around you right now who are really showing us a lot of assertive energy. I feel Archangel Michael really guiding this energy the most. They're saying that taking action actually is a really good thing at this time. So I know some of our other callers got that message to wait, to hold back, not take action, be patient kind of thing. But for you, I actually feel you that you are ready to take action. You are ready to do something to change your current situation so that you can kind of protect the integrity of the energy around you. Your angels are saying raise your standards higher so that you can keep out any, maybe toxic energy, things that just, again, aren't serving you. The cards that I'm getting, that I'm turning over, I felt guided to pull all cards from the messages from the guides deck, by the way, are first the Possess Self-Confidence card. Possess self-confidence. So that's amazing. Confidence and assertiveness. It goes right along with that same theme that we felt when we tuned into Archangel Michael and these other assertiveness energies that are around you. So possess self-confidence. The angels are pointing to your throat chakra and they're saying it's safe to speak up. You're ready to tell the world what you want, who you are, and what your values are. Show them who you are. Your second card is calm is not a weakness. Calm is not a weakness. The angels are giving you a big message. Leo, they want you to know that when you see other people who are kind of stepping into their assertiveness or beginning to use their voice in a really strong way. In the past, you may have seen people give not the best example of that because they equated being assertive with being aggressive or being overly confrontational, which can develop in us. So sometimes almost a little bit of timidity around being confrontational or, confronting a situation in a balanced way. They want you to know that for your life, they're helping you to master the lesson that you can be assertive in a way that is very calm, centered, in control, and powerful, coming from a calm and yet powerful place. The final card for you is Be of Service. Be of service. So this represents that it's important for you to hold up those boundaries or speak what you want and what you know, assert your opinion, not only for your own good, but also for the good of everyone involved in your current life situation. Everyone is able to receive inspiration, support, and happiness as a result of you speaking your mind. And in fact, the angels are saying that you'll be empowering other people to speak their healthy or positive opinions as well. So be a good example, be of service by speaking up and taking some kind of action right now. Wonderful. Thank you so much, everybody who sent in your requests for readings. I always love doing that for you guys. We are now at the end of our show, and I want to thank you guys so much for listening. Remember that I will be live every month on the Bring Me to Life Network, bringing you spiritual discussions and angel messages. Mark your calendars for Thursday, August 16th at 12:30 p.m. Eastern for our next live episode on manifesting abundance. Yay! Through the Eyes of the Angels is available to listen to on Spotify, iTunes, iHeartRadio, Spreaker, that's SPREAKER.com, or Stitcher, that's STITCHER. I will be posting the YouTube and Stitcher links for the podcast on my social media pages if you'd like to listen in again or share with a friend. So definitely keep in touch with me on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. If you'd like to learn more about Selo or would like to work with him to learn meditation or to receive some energy healing, do check out his website at www.selomon.com. That's Selomon.com. You can find all of his social media under Selomon Official or email him at selomonofficial@gmail.com. If you'd like to connect with me for a private reading, spiritual coaching, or an angel-guided healing session, you can visit my website at sarahhall.com. That's SARAHHALL.com. Follow the Bring Me to Life tribe for more inspiring talk radio, music, and so much more. All of my love to you guys. Bye.